So this is a new VR game. Well, not really new. It came out earlier this year, but it's kind of an interesting one. I've already went through and played everything, but it's like a VR in defense, basically. I'm trying to figure out one that's good to show you guys through it. So I already upgraded a lot of my turrets through.
Wow, what a sight! Fortunately, there's no seismic activity. We're keeping an eye on that.
Show where they come
Just stay away from lava and you'll be fine.
And then
Arena, how's the coding going?
Just finished.
Somewhere
Resending the message to you.
Avalon 1, your SOS was received. We've deployed a rescue mission, Avalon 2. The approximate time of arrival is 07.14.2233. Be ready to send exact coordinates as soon as the ship reaches the orbit. Hold on,
just
help is on the way.
Until they get
I can't believe it. We couldn't make it. It's just that... What's the date?
They're coming in 6...
Go ahead and skip this thing. So, an easy way to tell you is just the arrows up top tells you which ones are coming in through. This is the Oculus Rift S, so there's not really much in here. The left one moves you around the map. You can teleport, and then with the trigger you can like start activating things. The left one has a couple super buttons in the tutorial. Like A is the missile, and then B is it's like a bio weapon kind of thing. Then you got your money and the waves you gotta survive. The little drone thing's pretty freaking sweet. Like anytime you move it, engines go on and then it shoots. You hold the trigger and it builds up like a supercharge, and it does that. It does a little more damage to those shields. Basically how I usually do these things is I work my way backwards. So I know that this base only has one entrance to it, and it comes out this way. These gates you can activate to make them go around and take longer. And then, like, if I activated this one right here, they would probably walk down that way. As soon as you activate it, they'll show which way they're going afterwards. But other than that, basically this one I usually would trigger so they would come over here, because this has got 2 pads to build on versus this one doesn't have any. So you gotta kind of think about things like that, as well as when you activate this one they can go this way as well, which has a lot longer path. So for instance, I trigger this one, take a little time, and then you can see the path change. You know, they're going out on the outside, so that helps a little more. And then they're coming over here, so I got 340. So I kind of want
building.
This is kind of how I did it before. The flamethrower is actually pretty boss. The electric one kind of pauses them. And then you have the cannon, the electric, the flamethrower, the laser, which is pretty sweet as well, but it's slow. And then the rockets. Rocket really does more for the aircraft they launch at you, so you'll see that later on. The only things I haven't really figured out what to do about yet. Like, these say repair required, but they don't really do anything. Maybe it's like a feature update. These, they don't really describe what they do either, but basically it says that you need to go and build these like harvesters for these mines. And the blue ones are cheaper than the orange ones. But we'll go ahead and start this. If you start that before it expires, then you get a little bonus. I usually try to take it. Oh, see, it's the little airplanes. They don't really do damage to you or attack the base, but they bug you enough that you're not paying attention to the guys on the ground. And then I think if one of the bullets hits you, it like takes away your energy charge. So it doesn't damage you, it just takes your energy charge away. Each of these enemies are different. When you go through the rounds, it'll introduce you to what each ones do. usually kill the ones that have the special effects because they do things. So like this one will speed up everybody around them. Sometimes you can hit in between them and get to them. So I just took out both their shields. I usually attack their shields and then like the flame guy hit them the most. I would say it's not an entirely crazy difficult match. It's
Building.
there's some rounds that are a little harder and then some rounds that aren't. And then some can be based on rounds. Let's say you have 7 waves to go.
For wave.
And others you would have to collect a certain amount of resources, whether that's the minerals or funds, like you have to have $3,000 before it lets you move on. And there's another one that's friendly forces at the end start coming in, and you have to basically get enough of them to be able to get off the planet. This thing can overheat as well if you keep firing it. Like I said, I upgraded a lot of my stuff throughout the play, so it takes a little longer. So like now overheated, so you can't do anything until it fully recharges, which can be a pity sometimes. These guys heal their other dudes. Sometimes you can get lucky and they catch on to each other, and then you can try to dual shoot them. And other times they kind of hide in there. You can't really get them. I see. But other than that, you can kind of just help your dudes out and then kill them. Sometimes they drop little crates that give you some bonus money or upgrade points for when you want to start upgrading your stuff later on. The easiest way I found is just kind of focus my eyes on this side, make sure I don't overheat that.
Upgrading.
Upgrade that guy to the big boss.
Upgrading. Prepare for wave.
I guess if you kill them later out over here, it's less points than if you killed them at the beginning. They don't really say too much on it, but yeah, these guys are really try to kill. These guys will knock out defenses with their electricity thing. Thing I like to build the most is the laser guy. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where you want to put things at.
Building.
I have funds. This freaking laser thing is wild. You can't really tell what their effects are until you build them and you click it and it shows you their range. Just hear about its range now. The upgrades, they're usually power based and rate firing based. Sometimes they increase the range. So see, this just went like a step or so out. But that thing, like, it helps me out if I put it at the very earliest spot, because if I see it just launching out everywhere, then I know someone's at the end over here. Sometimes I'll look at those little fighter jet guys because they're a pain. I kind of just started playing this last week, so I'm kind of trying to still figure out if there is a way to make them prioritize. What it looks like they do is they pick. It's not picking the highest health because this guy's got more health. See, this guy has more health now, and he's aiming at this guy. These are like the biggest guys in the game. So if you can knock their shield out and light them on fire, they usually go down pretty well. These little guys are pain because they got like a really huge like shield, but then they have no health. So once you get their shield off, then they're easy to kill. Yeah, other than that, besides, like I said, I kind of did the fire really quickly just because it has the longer effect afterwards, along with different upgrades. Go through those. It's only round 4. Sometimes it does a little bit to the it does to the shield too, but I've been told that electric does more to the shield. So if you can have an electric with a flame guy, like it'll shock them enough to like freeze them and get more fire on them. And it's interesting that their shields, they definitely grow back. So if you're out at the beginning just knocking out their shields, by the time they got over here, you'll probably get a good shield built back up.
Upgrading.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and use some super weapons too. I thought I had this guy upgraded. I'll show rocket too. And we can show cannon.
Building. Upgrading.
So this thing has a little interesting deal.
Upgrading.
They take a little bit to upgrade to. An interesting thing is if the wave bar goes off, it doesn't force you to start a new wave, so you can kind of just take a break between it. But if you do it before the little bar ends, then you get a little bonus. I think I said at the beginning, but this thing has the range of the blue, but if something gets in here, then it's just not going to get shoot at it. Really, the only thing I've built these rockets for are for the aircraft.
Prepare for
Little
wave.
planes that come at you. You might, yep, here they come. Sometimes there's like a round or two where they just all come at you. So there's like 20 or 30 of them just flying around you. Like I said, they can be a little buggy, but yeah, see, you're still launching right here. Sometimes you can, there's an achievement to kill like a bunch of them with the power weapon that you have. Other than that, it's really just killing these guys. They did a really good thing with making them have to go around objects. Alright, so here is the super weapon bio. And that has an upgrade to do different things like last longer or affect shields more. And we also have the artillery strike. It's kind of cool, they come up in the sky like that. Right. That really just does like immediate damage. These guys, they'll like, well, I thought he was gonna activate it, but if they get close to the turret, they'll like deactivate it for a little bit.
Prepare for wave.
It's actually pretty harmful. Every now and then these guys can like go through a building or something, but for the most part they seem to, I mean, we can go through buildings, so why shouldn't they be able to? Shoot him! Boom. Watch this guy. See, he deactivated it. I think out of all the enemies, I usually kill these the first. matter what. Those guys get next to the fast dudes, it's just like ridiculous because they'll just fly. And now that's all the extra dudes. That laser. So basically what I get out of the scoring is if you kill them over here versus over here, you'd get a little more score. As far as how much, it doesn't say. I mean, you could probably sit here and figure out that like that gives you 37, and if you kill them somewhere else, you can see just how much it killed you, but then that time it gave me 39 at the same spot. Alright, last wave.
Prepare for
See,
wave.
like, I got 29,000. I mean, you can build up these harvesters, but it hasn't really said what they do yet.
Building.
These little fast guys, they speed them up, so it goes so much faster. Those guys right there are like evil because they got that shield they got, man. It's really wild. They gave me money. These things, I don't know if that's money or something else. If it's just like material. And then when you use that ding, tells you that. Yeah, got one of the super weapons.
Requesting fire assistance. Requesting fire assistance.
This is 65 from over there. I don't know how far they gotta travel before they lose points or whatnot. That one was 61. I think if you kill them with a little supercharge, then you get the better price. This is 65. 61.
Mission complete.
There you go. And if they damage the base on the left side, had the health, and they won't give you all 3 of these stars. If you have no damage, you get 3 stars. Points, it just goes on the top of the scoreboard, and skill points gives you what to build and the upgrades. So let's check these out. So some of the basic ones, they have these unlocked. Well, they don't have all of them unlocked, so you can buy them. I don't show the price anymore because I bought them, but they're relatively cheap until you start getting to the upgraded ones. So they have stage 1, 2, and 3s on the right, and then they have different upgrades on the left that affects any of them. Like I said, I kind of went for the cannon at first, and then I got the armor piercing one, and then I went straight to getting the flamethrower just because it affects longer, the additional burning damage. The electric one, it just kind of slows them down, which helps out the fire. And this one actually says it paralyzes them, but I haven't seen it paralyze yet. And the cannon, it just says it's effective for small targets, but then this says all types of enemies. It's pretty beefy. It doesn't really do anything until you get to armor piercing though. Advanced weapons, the rocket one we kind of already looked at. They get the stage 3s. This one I didn't care because it just increases the damage by 15%. Laser one, I didn't even get to the third laser, but the second one, the first and the second one's already boss, and then these two basically increase the damage and then the rate of fire. This one kind of helped out a lot. Drone one, I kind of went in here. So secondary mode was that one where you hold it and it does the damage mainly more to the shields or so. This one makes it to where it consumes less, and then you have like to where you can fire faster on the main one, which is good to have. This one was for the main firing. So this is like the main ones, and then these are the secondary weapons. As you see, I didn't even upgrade any of that. Like I use the airstrike very little. I mean, I use it when it's used, but I use the corrosion bomb a lot more. And this one was awesome because it actually damaged the shields too. The base one, this unlocked automatically. I didn't do anything else really because it doesn't describe what they're supposed to do. These things talk about they go like this one makes them cheaper to activate, so instead of like 75 it's cheaper. These make it go faster, but I usually do them between turns, so I don't even know why that would be there unless you need it as a super backup. You need to turn it on quickly. These of course go back with pricing and then speed of them or size. Base one, base auto repair, I didn't really see it repair, so it's probably pretty slow. It says during the battle. These nanobites, it says that they repair, help technicians, but I didn't see them do anything. I didn't do anything with the force field either. And that's all the unlocks. And yes, there are 30 different maps. 30 maps, so it's got quite a lot of stuff. Like I said, through each one you get new enemies, and the tutorial is pretty good. It kind of shows you the basic weapon stuff. And you can click on one and see like where you stand at. Still trying to figure out the scoring for it because some of those earlier ones I got really far behind, but then as I went in, it started going higher. Like, look at that. I don't even know how I got first place on that one. And it's by like 2,000, like 1,500 at least. Yeah, and then this whole screen thing's pretty sweet. They show some movies and stuff like that on it. It's kind of a pretty interesting little tablet deal. What was the last one? I don't know how he got 12. That's like the weird one, is how you go from 59 to 60 to 98 to 121. It's timed. You don't know if you get higher scores based on killing them faster or slower, but killing more. And that's basically it. There's an achievement to just read this. Which is pretty interesting. Settings. I had this medium. I put it high just to record this, so we'll see how that works. But the controls don't click anything. This actually resets the game.